as always, I hope everyone is well today. Doing well, out and about and enjoying this day. As I always say, you might ask me, why do I always say this? And it's because I've been in a place where I couldn't get out and couldn't exercise, although I wanted to. And I feel you if you're in that place. And I do hope and pray that you're out of that tough place soon. Because a short testimony, I was in that place and didn't know if I ever walk again. Pardon me. If I ever talk again. And then if I ever talk again without slurring my speech on every other word and slobbering out of my mouth. And as you can see, I still have the crooked mouth, but it's okay, my words are coming out. And that's all that really matters. And the testimony that I have. And like I said, I hope everyone is able to get out today. And please don't take your health for granted. Get out here and get that heart rate up and move something. And like I said, I had a simple thought of the day, and it is, have you come to the kingdom for such a time as this? And will you answer the call? And I'm sure most of us Bible scholars, as most of us are, that's watching this, already know what script and who I'm talking about in this thought. But I'm not going to dwell too much on it right now. I'm going to do my talking while I ride because it's such a simple thought. And it's coming out of Esther. I believe it is 4. And also the other Esther that was taken out of the Bible. And once we read into it, we see why it was taken out. When you read it from a Hebrew mind state. But I do want to ask you one question. Where is our Esther of the day and our Mordekais of the day? Where are our Esthers and Mordekais for such a time as this? As we are in the same predicament they were in, facing extermination by a race of people that do not like us. And really, it's all the nations, because they came together. And as it said in one text, they came together as a confederate. And what a word. They came together and said, let us make an end of these people. Like I said, I'm going to get on my ride. And if I don't say it after this, I love y'all. Stay up, keep pushing forward in the right direction. It ain't so. Those are little fake pearls, I guess. Yep. So I pray the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart would be acceptable unto the Most High, and that none of these words I speak are cast aside to the swine. Pray that this word will pierce each and every heart that's listening. Okay, let's get it. kids need a ball, I would suspect. Hey there. Hey y'all. How you doing? And that thought was, were you called to the kingdom for such a time as this? And will you answer the call? I may be messing up that title a bit, but it's all about the thought that counts. For such a time as this. And the second thought added to that was, where are our Mordekais and our Esthers at? Because as we know, in reading the Most High's Word, nothing is new under the sun, and everything that was will be again. So with us being in this season, and this bondage, as our forefathers were, constantly, and as we're in our Egypt, we're leaning in and depending on the Most High to deliver us from it. As I said, we're leaning in and depending on Him, as Mordekai and Esther was. And as we see in the text, Mordekai was Esther's cousin. His uncle's daughter. And her parents had died. So Mordekai took her on as his own daughter. as I was saying, nice bike, man. Nice bike. Like I was saying, Mordekai took Esther on as his own daughter during one of Israel's bondage periods. And in this bondage, the king had a hard-headed wife. He had threw a banquet, a celebration for all his kingdom, which lasted like half a year. Then at the end of that celebration, he brought all the higher-ups from each province of his kingdom he brought them to the palace for a celebration. And when he did this, of course he showed off all that he had, basically bragging on his kingdom. And to the folks in his under his rulership. Basically saying this is what we have. During this process, he called his queen, Bassie, I believe her name is, who threw her own shindig. And I guess this is just my thinking. Getting around all them other women folk. She got her head a little big to where it outgrew her crown. But he called her to show off her beauty. As a king, part of your bragging rights is your queen. And I should say any man, his bragging rights is his wife. She's his glory, actually. So I'm sure the king saved the best for last. That he wanted to show off his wife, who, as the script says, she was a very beautiful woman and fair. And I believe that fair was added in as she had a banging body. And you can't say it don't, you can't say it did do. But that's just my thought, because why would you say beautiful and then come back and say fair? I believe it was speaking to both sides of her beauty. Not only her facial features, but her bodily features. But anyway, she didn't come, as the story goes. And like I said, she outgrew her crown. point where the king had to get rid of her. Because if you've been the head man in charge and you have a hard-headed wife, then what is that saying of you? And all his other wise men told him, you got to get rid of her. Because what she gonna do is cause us problems. And cause our women folks to be hard-headed and tough on us. So as the story goes, of course he got rid of her. And not only did he get rid of her, he brought in another woman, another queen. And I'm not sure how they did it before, but this time he called all the virgins in the land from other countries that he had taken over. Or should I say that was in his providence. And long story short, Esther happened to be the one he chose. Now Esther, like I gave you her story, she was a Israelite from the tribe of Judah. And as the story moves along, her cousin her cousin Mordekai refused to bow down to the king's right-hand man in Haman. So Haman, who had kingly aspirations of his own, was very highly upset. I should say pissed. And he, in his haste, outgrew his crown. Should I say his big head, outgrew his neck. Because as the Most High set it up, Mordekai saved the king's life, and the night that Haman had planned to hang Mordekai, the Most High caused Haman not to be able to sleep. The king not to be able to sleep that night. So in this process, he brought out the old books and started reading, and saw Mordekai in the books, and saw that he hadn't gave Mordekai his due deserves or reward which at first glance you would think that was highly characteristics, because when you save a king's life, you get your reward right when the person trying to kill the king get his. Until I studied deeper and saw that Mordekai had charged Esther not to let anyone know who her people were. So I believe that's why, because Esther was the one Mordekai told about the attempt on the king's life. So I'm sure she took the credit. Hey, buddy. The credit for saving the king's life. I thought this entire story could only be told and written by the Most High as to how it was played out.